Hi there, this is Kevin from healthagentacademy.com, and in this video I'm going to show you how to get a insurance license in South Carolina. So just to make sure again that we've got the right folks watching this video, so hopefully this is a video that's going to help you. So just to make sure it is a video that would help you, our objective here is to show you step by step how to get an insurance license in South Carolina. What we're going to show you is how to get what's called a resident producer license. Now, just so we're on the same page, what that means is that you are a resident of South Carolina. Now, if you're looking to get licensed in South Carolina and you live in another state, you want to make sure you first get licensed in your home state where you're a resident. Then what you would do is get a non-resident license, assuming that the state you live in has a reciprocal agreement with South Carolina. And generally speaking, most states do have reciprocal agreements, but there are some nuances with that. But again, in this video, we're going to show you how to get a resident license if you're a resident of South Carolina. And we're going to show you really more focused on how to get license for life and health lines of authority. But if you're looking to do general lines, which would be your property and casualty, home, auto type things, this is going to be pretty much similar. But again, we're really focusing more on life and health in this. So if this is the right video for you, then please continue on. If not, you're welcome to watch along and see if we can help you out as well. All right, so let's walk through the steps to get your license. We're going to quickly go through them here, and then I'm going to show you a little bit more step by step everything you would need to do. So first, you're going to sign up for a pre-licensing course, and I'll show you a good one that I do recommend to agents, or future agents, I should say, people that do become agents, because they have a really good pass rate. So I'll show you a good one to use. Then I'm going to show you how to walk through and get your South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, also known as the SLED report. And basically what that is, just a background check, just to know your criminal history, make sure you are a trustworthy person. And if you're watching this, I'm assuming that you are. Then they're also going to need you to schedule your exam, and you're going to have to do that at a testing center. So some testing center nearby to you, and I'll show you the exact vendor that you would need to use, because there's a specific vendor you would need. Then you're going to apply for your license online, and hopefully you're going to pass the test. And once you've checked off all the boxes, they'll issue you a license, and you'll be on your merry way to start taking care of clients and making some money. So, all right, let's walk through all of that, and I'm going to show you a little bit more step by step where you would need to go to get all that stuff done. So first off, what I always recommend people do is double check with the state. So South Carolina's Department of Insurance, they are the governing body in South Carolina that's overseeing licensing of agents. So they could change the rules at any time. So what I'm showing you is as accurate as I know it to be at this point in time, but it could change. But what you want to do is just go over here, check the rules. They've got it sectioned off here between Section 1 and Section 2, which is really just more of whether or not you're convicted of a crime. You'll notice there's really a lot of the same steps of basically applying for the license, but they don't go into as much depth on everything else. And I think what that it really is saying is what they want you to do is make sure that if you do have any history that might be a knockout, there's no sense in you wasting all of your time taking the exam and whatnot, and then come to find out that you can't get licensed. But if you do have criminal history of some sort, I would recommend just at least be honest, put it on the application. If you don't, then you'd move forward with Section 2. So either way, assuming that you're able to get past that hurdle, you would, in my recommendation, actually go and sign up for a licensing course. Now, License Coach is one of many you can use, and you can use any that's sanctioned by the state. They teach you everything you need to know to get the licensing taken care of. If you do decide to use them, I do have a coupon code below that you can use. And so really what you would do is go over here to insurance certification. It's loading. Oh, not Texas. We are South Carolina we were looking at here. So go down here to South Carolina, and I've actually got a link below that'll take you to the exact page that we're about to go to next. So this way, you've got everything here. So as you can see here, the pricing is the same, whether you get a life license, a health license, or a life and health license. Now, if you're going to spend the money, I would recommend go ahead and get the extra knowledge. So if you're thinking about just selling life or just selling health, you might as well get both. So I would say just do life and health, even if you're not thinking that you're going to do both, because at the end of the day, you're going to be taking care of clients, and you're going to find that every client you deal with is very valuable to you and to your business. And so why not have the ability to sell them another product? So if it's going to fit in with their life and what their needs are, oftentimes a client that might need a life insurance policy also needs individual health insurance policy, and someone who needs a health insurance policy might also need a life policy. So might as well give yourself the ability to best service your client by able to sell both. So again, I recommend doing both. So if you're on the fence about whether to do one or the other, or if you think you just want to do one, either way, just do both is my recommendation. It is a little bit extra time because you got to study and know both lines, but it's going to come in handy because you're going to be itching down the road to do it, and it's easier to just do it on the front end. So if you do sign up for License Coach, one of the things I do like about them is there's a lot of other companies that sometimes the price is a little bit lower, but they have, we'll call it a la carte, where they add on things like an online study manual, videos, cram sheets, audio, flashcards. I find I learn very well with those, other bells and whistles along those lines. And they've got some practice tests and things of that nature. I like License Coach because it's all included in that one package price. This is who I personally recommend to agents, even before I became an affiliate of theirs. So I do recommend them. They have a great product. And one of the only states that has the pass rates of students by company that does licensing is Florida, and they're one of the highest pass rates in Florida. So I'm assuming it's going to be the same for other states because the content is pretty similar. It's just nuanced. Life and health is pretty much similar. It's just, applicable state laws and requirements and things of that nature change sometimes from state to state. But for the most part, if people do well in Florida with License Coach, it's assumed they're going to do well in South Carolina, and that's what I've seen. So again, this is the company you can use. And again, I've got a coupon code down below. So if you wanted to use the coupon code, you would just go add it to the shopping cart, proceed to checkout, and you could save a little bit of money, which we all like to save a little bit of money. Put in the coupon code and voila. Just save $10. So again, if you want to, you can use License Coach. If not, there's a lot of other great companies. They're not the only great company. It's just the one I do personally recommend. And I have been recommending them for quite a while now. And I've seen a lot of agents get their license because they did use them. It's not an easy test, and I'll go into a little bit more about that here momentarily. But again, this is the company I would recommend using. So you're going to come over here and work on getting your background check, your SLED report. And what you're going to do is scroll down here to the bottom, accept the terms and conditions, which of course you can read on your own if you'd like. Then over here where it says eligibility for reduced fees, that's really for people who are part of a either charitable organization or are looking to become a teacher or substitute teacher. So as an agent, you're going to be helping people and doing good for others. However, the goal is to make this very much a profitable industry for you. So you are not going to be eligible for this reduced price. You're going to be not eligible. So you're going down here to click not eligible. You're going to pay their full price, which at the time of this video is $25, which I will say compared to a lot of other states is actually a very good price. So even that is kind of reduced compared to what folks in a lot of other states have to pay for background checks. So click not eligible. Fill this out, register, click submit, gives you your next steps, what you need to do. Then you're going to register for your exam. Now, my recommendation to people is the best thing to do is about halfway through your licensing course, go ahead and schedule your exam. So South Carolina uses PSI Exams. It's one of the major exam companies. So you basically schedule at a location near you. So you would just go over here to schedule. If you have a username and password because you've done tests with them before, you put it in here. Chances are, if you're doing this for the first time, you'd click sign up. So you would just sign up for an account, put in your information, and then it takes you where you can schedule at a location near you. Oh, police going by there. So next, what you're going to do is then apply for your license. So going back here to the South Carolina resident producer page, you're going to go down here to apply for your license. Now, if you had a criminal conviction, you would have done this before you did all that. But when it's time to apply, which again, if you don't have a criminal conviction history, I wouldn't worry too much about it. The SLED report will show that you have no criminal conviction history. You're going to click here to apply online. You're not going to use the paper form. As a new resident producer, they want you to apply online, which is actually, I think it makes it simpler. You're going to click on that little button, but it is not going to allow me to do that because at the time I'm recording this, it is a little late at night, and they're doing maintenance, which just about every state, it seems like they do their maintenance on their websites late at night. So that's not abnormal, but just keep that in mind for when you go to do your application. And the application is pretty straightforward, so I don't think I need to show you how to do the application. So you just fill out the application, you send it off to them, you pass your test, and hopefully you are a licensed agent. So the main thing, though, is, of course, passing your test. So the exam. Generally speaking, I can't find the pass rates for South Carolina, but the states that do publish pass rates in general tend to be anywhere between 40 and 60% from what I usually see. So let's just say roughly about half the people pass. Now there's things, of course, you can do to make yourself more likely to pass the first time. If you don't pass the first time, that's okay. There's a lot of smart people I've seen who have taken the test 2, 3, 4 times in order to pass. So don't freak out if you don't pass the first time. So don't put too much pressure on yourself. Now, again, I always think it's best to try to pass the first time. Like, don't go in it as like the first time is just the practice. Go in there with the mindset that you are going to pass. A couple other things I would recommend is that when you go to study, don't just memorize all the definitions and regurgitate the phrases. You really got to make sure that you know the content kind of inside and out, that you can explain it. So you want to make sure that you understand the concepts behind the definitions and not just memorize the definitions, if that makes sense. So think of it this way. When you're talking to clients, you're not going to be using textbook definitions. If you use textbook definitions, your clients are going to glaze over and probably walk away from you. So really the best way to do it, I think, is if you have something you're kind of struggling with. Like, let's say you're taking practice tests, and let's say you're talking about group life insurance, for example. Like, that's actually as part of a test I personally did the worst on when I took the test in Florida. Now, what I would recommend doing is, if you know there's parts that you're weaker in and other parts, subject matter, that you're doing better in, The stuff you're doing better in, that's great. But the stuff you're doing a little weaker in, that you keep finding you're either struggling with understanding it or you keep getting the answers wrong, take whatever the main points are, find someone who is not connected to the insurance business and explain it to them in a way that they understand. And if you can do that, then you know the concepts, you know what you need to know for the test, and also you have just proven to yourself that you can explain things in a way to a layperson who's not in the insurance business. Because what you find is once you've been in this business for a while, you can bore people to death with jargon. And people want it simple. They want to know what they need to know, and they want to know that you're going to answer their questions in a way that's going to make them feel like they're educated on the subject matter, but not going through hours and hours and hours of licensing courses and training and things of that nature. So you're definitely helping yourself by making sure that you can explain concepts in a way that the layperson would understand. So I would definitely recommend that. And also, one of the complaints I've gotten from folks about License Coach is that the tests don't match up 100% with the definitions. So one of the things to keep in mind is that, again, the test is not going to match up 100% with the definition. So I think that's one of the reasons why License Coach actually has higher pass rates, because if you pass their tests, it gives you a more realistic view, I think, of what the test is actually going to look like, the state exam. State exams, again, never mirror exactly what textbooks give you. So I think License Coach is probably one of the reasons why they have a higher than average pass rate in the places I've seen them publish it. So that's one of the reasons, again, why I recommend them. But again, just make sure, regardless of who you use for your pre-licensing course, that you make sure that you've got good grasp of the subject matter knowledge. But again, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Now, I say all that like it's really hard and whatnot, but keep one thing in mind. Look in the internet, the phone book, whatever. Like, there's really that many phone books these days, but you can look out there. Anyone who has a license, guess what? They pass the test. And if they can pass the test, most of them are no smarter than you. You can pass that test. I believe in you. You're watching this video. You've made it this far. You're going to pass the test. So enough belaboring about the exam. Hopefully you've found this helpful. If you'd like more tips and suggestions on getting started with your insurance career, visit us over at healthagentacademy.com. I also have another link below where you can sign up for our free resource guide, where we're going to give you all kinds of different resources to help you get started in your insurance career. So I really want to just wish you the best of luck. And again, thank you for being on this presentation. And if there's anything we can do to help you out, again, reach out to us, or you can leave a comment below. Thank you.